Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel So Little Time, and my name is Karen. So I hope you're all doing really well, and thank you very much for joining me today. Today I am here to share with you some of my precious fabrics from my stash, and this is all to do with a new sewing challenge that has been organised by Whitney of Tomcat Stitchery, and she has set up this sewing challenge for the sewing community to get involved with, and it takes place on Instagram, and there is also a vlog hop tour taking place on YouTube as well. So you may be already familiar with what this challenge is about, and you will find a lot of other vloggers are sharing their ideas and plans with their precious fabrics. So I've delved into my stash to have a look at what fabrics I feel are precious to me and why I've not really sewn them. So it's really to sort of get people to go into their stash, find your precious fabrics, get them out, and to challenge you to make them into a garment or something so that they're not just sat in your stash anymore gathering dust, basically. I don't really have any sort of precious fabrics to the point where I'm so precious over them that I'm scared to cut into them or anything like that. The precious fabric that I had prior to this event taking place was actually the one that you can see on my mannequin, which is a boiled wool fabric here that I got from Guthrie & Garney a few years ago at Sobrum, and I was so scared to cut into it because it cost me a lot of money. And I ended up making it into the long line jacket by so different patterns, and I'm so glad I did that, and I absolutely love how that has turned out. So that was my most precious fabric. So I have actually already sewn that, but it took me a number of years to get that sewn up into a garment for me to be able to wear, and it is something that I will wear this winter as well, although it is quite dressy, I find, and I have worn it to a wedding, but it was purely because of the cost for the reason that that was my precious fabric. So I don't really have anything else in my stash that I feel precious over because of the price. I've just got fabrics that I have had languish in there for the longest time, and I feel that this challenge really is enticing me to get those fabrics out and to get them made into something. Now, a lot of the fabrics that I do stash away, I do tend to have plans lined up for them as I buy them. Sometimes that changes along the way, but the majority of the time I still want to sew up the same pattern that I had sort of lined that fabric up for. So I've brought out a few of my fabrics to share with you today. I am just going to be focusing on one fabric to make into a garment for the month of September, because I don't have a lot of time to sew all of these fabrics up. As I said in my previous video, I've started a new job, so my sewing time is even more limited than it ever has been. So I've got a few out which I'm going to share with you. I'm not 100% decided on which one I'm going to focus on as yet. I'm going to give you some ideas of patterns that I would like to use for them, and then let me know your thoughts. Yeah, and let's just see how I go when I share this video with you. Now, I have picked out actually one fabric that I got in a Guthrie & Garney Sewing Society kit. And it was actually for the Wilder gown, and I didn't end up using that fabric to make the Wilder gown. I used something else, and then I didn't like how that garment ended up turning out, and I got rid of it when I spoke to you about that in my last video about my Me Made May plans of getting rid of things that I wasn't wearing. So I got rid of that. So this fabric, I still don't feel like I want to make that into the Wilder gown. I'll show you it. This is a viscose fabric. It's got a black background, and again, it's got quite a bold print on it, but that is a smaller scale compared to the spotty fabric that I use for the Wilder gown. But as much as I love the turquoise flowers on it, I just don't like a black background on me. So I think I may well be putting this up for destash, basically. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled. If you do like this fabric, then I will be putting it on my Instagram page if you wanted to. Sorry about that, there was just a lot of noise in the background. Yeah, so I'm going to be putting that up on my Instagram page to destash. So let me know if you may well be interested in that. I think there's about 4 meters here of this fabric, and although I do really like the design on it, it's just the black background. I don't feel that I am ever going to sew that up into anything. So although that's not a precious fabric, it is one that I just wanted to get out, to get it out of my stash, because it is just sat there being wasted, gathering dust, basically. So yeah, there's that one. So the fabrics I've actually picked out of my stash vary in the fabric type. So I'll show you this one first. This is a sort of, I don't know, it's not like a canvas. It's I'd say a fabric that is for outerwear. It's got a grey background and it's got all these little colourful stars all over them, and they're woven into the fabric. And on the other side, it's actually very stripy like that, and I quite like that. Now I wouldn't have that on the outside. I would have obviously this on the outside, but I do quite like the thought of making an outerwear garment that isn't lined, so you can see that detail on the inside. This was initially lined up to make the Chloe coat by Sew Over It. I've since gone off making that pattern because it is quite straight and I'm very, very pear-shaped, so I need an A-line style jacket, which is why I make this one here. So this one could have the possibility of being made into that long line jacket by Sew Different Patterns, because I do have enough fabric to make it into that. Or maybe I think I also have the Pixie coat, I think it is, by Twig and Tail. Now I made the Pixie coat children's version for my twins a long time ago, and they were such a sweet little coat, and I really did enjoy that. It was my sort of my first go into making outerwear and stuff like that. So I think that was lined though. I think also though you don't have to line it. I think there was the option to have it lined or not lined, so that could be a potential one as well. And that is quite A-line as well, as I remember it did have a sort of swing style to it. So that's a potential. So this definitely needs to be made into something outerwear, and that has been sat there for the longest time because it was ages ago that I was planning to make the Chloe coat by Sew Over It. But yeah, like I say, I'm not going to be making that, even though I think I bought the online course for it as well, but I just don't think it's the right shape for my body, and I just don't want to sort of waste fabric on a coat that I'm potentially never going to wear. So if you have any other ideas of any other coat patterns, then let me know. I do want them to be a fairly straightforward pattern to make, especially obviously with it not being lined. I'd probably just bias bind the insides. Sticking with the outerwear theme then, I have this quilted fabric which I picked up from Higgs and Higgs at one of the sewing shows that I went to a couple of years ago now, I think it was. It may even have been last year actually, and I made this into the Megan Nielsen Havea jacket, and I really like how that turned out. In actual fact, I've got the version that I made here. And I wear this ever such a lot. So as you can see, I've used this side for the outer. I didn't make it reversible because I did put a little tag on the inside, and then I bias bound all the insides as well. But I really like the reverse of the fabric, so I would like to be able to wear that side sometimes. I wear this sort of over dresses really, where it's got a waistline because it sits sort of just at the waistline, so, and it looks good with high-waisted jeans and that kind of thing. So I really like how that's turned out, and I can't remember which view I made, but I think it's the shortest one that it's like quite cropped. So I'm thinking this fabric is precious to me because it did cost a lot of money from Higgs and Higgs. I remember buying quite a few meters of it to enable me to get the jacket, and I did think I'd perhaps make something else out of it, but I haven't really got enough here, I feel, to make anything other than a short jacket. So I thought I'd just make the same one because I like wearing that one so much, but use the reverse of it, and that is a really straightforward quick make. So I do need something that is quite quick, so this is probably high on the priority list for this challenge. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on that because I do really like that colourway as well. The next fabric I've picked out is a really beautiful viscose fabric, and I picked this up, oh look, it matches what I'm wearing. I picked this up from Andrea at Beyond the Pink Door a number of years ago now. I think I had it as a Christmas present, and I was planning on making the Tilly and the Buttons indigo dress, but I have other fabrics lined up for the indigo dress, and so I'm thinking with this one, if I have enough, I need to double check to see if I have enough. I would quite like to make the Friday Pattern Company Avenir jumpsuit with this. I think that would look really nice. It's something that I could wear out on an evening. It's really lovely and drapey and floaty, and I think that would work quite well, but I do need to check how much fabric that pattern takes, because I'm not 100% sure of how much I've got here. Possibly 2 meters, because that is the standard sort of length that I used to buy, at least. Now I do tend to buy a little bit more, but back when I was first buying fabrics, I used to just buy 2 meters at a time. I do find I can get away with 2 meters for most patterns for myself, but for things like jumpsuits, maybe I do need slightly more because of obviously the length of the trousers, and I would like to make that jumpsuit with it being full length leg. I'm not sure if it's a crop leg or not on that, I can't remember. I'll have to get my pattern out and have a look, but yeah, so I would like to get that made into the Avenir jumpsuit. And again, that pattern I've heard is a really pleasurable sew and one that doesn't take too much time either. So that's that one. Then I have this fabric that I've picked out, and I absolutely love this. I think I've only got 1.5 meters of this. Now, I was gifted this by Minerva back in February this year, which was actually for a pattern test for Jane at the Dressmaker's Closet. But due to Jane's circumstances changing, whereby she lost her husband, sadly, and also she's moved house and she's now renovating a new house, which you will see on her YouTube channel. She's been sharing quite a lot of things about that, and I'm in awe of what she's been doing. But yeah, this fabric was lined up for the pattern test, which it didn't go ahead basically, and I don't know when she's going to be back to doing that type of thing. So I did speak with Minerva and I said I would happily just use this fabric to use as my brand ambassador role and to make it into a blouse of some description. So that is what I would like to do. It's a cotton fabric. I think it's just a cotton poplin, so it is quite crisp, so it needs to be some kind of blouse where you need the shape holding, I suppose. I don't want to make anything like the sagebrush top where it's going to make the sleeves really poofy or anything like that. I'd like to try something completely different. And now that I'm working, I do feel that this will have a place in my wardrobe. And I really like the colour. It's a navy background, but it's like a soft navy with these white florals all over it. And I do really like that. So I think that would look really nice, paired up with my black trousers that I've recently bought. And also I do have a blue A-line skirt as well, which I think would go with it. My first kind of thought on a pattern is the Friday Pattern Company, is it the Patina blouse? I think it's that. Or even, I do have, out of the Love at First Stitch book by Tilly and the Buttons, her first book, there's a blouse in there, I can't remember what it's called now, but it's very similar to the Patina blouse, I believe. It's got a V-neck and a sort of deep collar, button-up blouse. I think there's a few little like folds in for this on the sleeves, so it's very similar style. So I thought that would be quite different for me. It's something that I've not really made like that before. I've not made like a structured type of blouse. Yeah, so let me know, would 1.5 meters be okay for the patina blouse, and what do you think to that style for this fabric? Let me know if you think that's doable. And again, I don't think that should be too much of an involved make, and one that I can get done during the month of September. Okay, so again, outerwear fabric. I have had this, I think it's a boiled wool. It's navy, and it's just, you know, a bog standard boiled wool. I don't think it's as good quality as this one here, because it certainly didn't cost me as much as that one. I can't even remember where I got this from. Again, I think I've got a good amount there, probably about 2 meters. And I'm thinking more of a boxy style jacket. So a little bit like a Chanel style jacket, I suppose. And I do have some lining fabric as well. As boring as it is, it's just a blue one. I think I did buy this blue lining fabric initially for the star fabric that I showed you, and that was going to go inside that, but I want to make that as an unlined coat, so I think I could use this lining to go in this and just have it as a bog standard kind of staple jacket. Also, I was considering the Tilly and the Buttons Sunny jacket. Potentially that might work quite well. I haven't looked, I have the pattern, but I haven't looked at the fabric type that is required for that. So I don't know if this is going to be too heavy or not. And I definitely would line it if I was making that version of the Sunny jacket, because there is a lined add-on pack, which I have. So yeah, you know, maybe that. Otherwise, I think I do have a pattern, like a Chanel style pattern, but I don't think it's lined. And I'm not one of these people who is able to draft my own lining for a jacket. So that is for sure. I would need the pattern pieces for that. Yeah, so let me know your thoughts. Would that work for the Sunny jacket potentially? Because I think I could wear that in or out of work. You know, it would be quite versatile really. And then the last fabric I have to share with you is a fabric that was gifted to me by a friend on Instagram who lives locally, but I only ever saw her at the swimming pool when I used to take my boys to swimming lessons. And I haven't seen her in ever such a long time because our days changed, but she gifted me lots of fabric whilst we were meeting up at the swimming pool. And this was one of them, and it's a beautiful Ankara fabric or African wax print. And it's very autumnal, so it's going to be perfect for our season approaching into the autumn now. It hasn't been washed or anything, so I'd need to obviously sort that out and get this label off. But for this, as it is quite a structured fabric, I think this would really suit the So Different triple tuck smock dress. Absolutely love that pattern. I did showcase it at the Stitch Festival this year on the catwalk for them, and I had made it in a dark navy needle cord with florals on it. Absolutely love the pattern, although I don't love that version anymore that I've made, because the navy is so dark, it looks black, and I just don't like that black background on me at all. So yeah, I think that dress will only really come out at Christmas time for work now, because I think it's just quite dark for me, and I feel it washes me out, you know. So I think I'd like to make this into the triple tuck smock dress, and I think that would be suitable again for work and out of work, and it'll hold the tucks really nicely, and it has that lovely A-line shape, so I think that would be a nice potential for that. And this is precious to me just because it was gifted to me by my lovely friend Maria, and yeah, I think it's just a shame to have that sat there in the wardrobe with all of these fabrics, you know. So they're not precious in they have any sentimental value, you know, they haven't cost me the earth, apart from the quilted Higgs and Higgs fabrics that did cost me a little bit, but everything else really has just been sat there for a long time. So it's just making me get them out and to put them in front of me with the pattern ideas, and to hopefully get some of them made. And you know, I'm only challenging myself to make one for the month of September, but moving forwards I would like to get those patterns done. So yeah, let me know your thoughts as to which one you think I should go ahead and make. Let me know if you're getting involved in the challenge itself. There are some prizes to be won, so I think there is a reveal date, I believe, or maybe we just have to do it throughout the month of September. I can't remember the rules. But yeah, and so there are some, I think you can only enter once though, so you can only make one thing. And stuff like that. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on which one you think then I should make. Let me know what you're planning to make, or if you're getting involved in the challenge and what precious fabrics you have in your stash. I'd be interested to hear. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed looking at what fabrics I'm potentially thinking of using, and I will look forward to seeing you all again soon. So thank you very much. Please give this video a like and subscribe if you've not already done so, and I shall see you all again soon. Take care. Bye.